A very good morning. Thank you for tuning into Republic TV. You're watching live this morning. I'm Priyanka Das and I'll be taking you to the top stories from around the country and the world. The big story that we're tracking is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US, where he has held successful talks with the tech CEOs in New York. He has also said that India aims towards working and ensuring global peace across the world. We'll be bringing you more details, but first let's take a quick look at the top headlines.
पावर इज फॉर प्रोटेक्टिंग। भारत की प्राथमिकता दुनिया में अपना दबाव बढ़ाने की नहीं, अपना प्रभाव बढ़ाने की है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi sets the record straight, says India will play an active role in global peace, reiterates the Vishwa Bandhu pledge, says India's goal is not global domination but global influence and friendship.
वो दिन दूर नहीं जब आप मेड इन इंडिया चीफ यहां अमेरिका में भी देखेंगे।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi makes a declaration in New York, says day not far when you will see Made in India semiconductor chips in America. This after the announcement of India and US setting up a new semiconductor fab plant in Kolkata.
आपको ये बताते हुए खुशी है कि आपके सुझावों के बाद भारत ने बोस्टन और लॉस एंजलिस में 2 नए कॉन्सुलेट खोलने का निर्णय लिया है।
Prime Minister makes a big announcement for the Indian diaspora in the US. Says India to get 2 new consulates in Boston and Los Angeles. Union Home Minister Amit Shah's campaign blitz in Haryana, Shah to hold mega rally in the poll-bound state. Tirupati Laddu Rao intensifies. Former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Reddy pens letter to Prime Minister Modi, seeks intervention in the Laddu controversy. In the ongoing Tirupati Laddu controversy, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has formed a special investigation team to probe the matter. Meanwhile, former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy has written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi alleging attempts to tarnish the Tirumala temple's sanctity. A public interest litigation, or the PIL, on the issue has also been filed in the Supreme Court. And now I'd like to bring in my colleague, Aneri, who is joining us live. Aneri, could you help us understand now with the political back and forth happening and Chandrababu Naidu as well as Jagan Mohan Reddy getting involved in it, what can we expect here on after the PIL has also been filed?
Well, what we have been seeing that a massive controversy which broke out over the Tirumala Laddu, where we see that Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu had made a statement of animal fat being found in the Tirumala Laddu during the Jagan Mohan Reddy's government, where now we see that Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has also called and stated that there will be a special investigation team. IG rank officer will be there in that team who will be investigating this matter, and then they will be submitting a report to the government, following which a strict action will be taken, is what Chandrababu Naidu has to say. So definitely a massive face-off between the TDP and the YSRCP. On one side, TDP says that there was adulteration which had taken place during Jagan Mohan Reddy's regime, but on the other hand, we also see Jagan Mohan Reddy writing a letter to Prime Minister Modi and also talking about how Chandrababu Naidu is a habitual liar, and mentions about what all went on on during his governance, and that is the reason why now we see that massive face-off between TDP and YSRCP. But also now what we are seeing is that today there is a Shanti Homam which is being held on the hill shrine by the priest of the temple. They will be doing a Shanti Homam to make sure that all the impurities and all the wrongdoing, the misdeeds of the previous government is cleansed, is what Chandrababu Naidu has to say, and that is the reason why we see a Shanti Homam is also being conducted today on the hill shrine.
Aneri, thank you so much for those inputs. As we've gotten details that Chandrababu Naidu has also set up a special investigating team. So who are going to be part of that, and what can we expect from this investigation?
Well, officers from Tirumala and also the IG rank officer will be involved. Well, the team has not been decided yet, but yes, Chandrababu Naidu has given a statement that an IG rank officer will be heading this special investigation team, who will be taking forward this investigation, and further a report would be submitted. But all the officials will be involved into this, especially the TTD board officials will be there as a part of this special investigation team, and later they will be doing a thorough inquiry, and further they will be submitting a report to the government, following which action will be taken.
Thank you, Aneri, for those details. We'll be getting back to you. This is after the Tirumala Laddu controversy has escalated. We're bringing you the latest developments. So keep watching Republic TV. Let's move on to the next story. Continuing with his verbal onslaught on the Congress and the National Conference amid the ongoing Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections, Union Home Minister Amit Shah was unsparing against the alliance over its promise to revive dialogue with Pakistan if elected. Take a look at this detailed report for more.
Home Minister Amit Shah came down heavily on the Congress National Conference alliance over its promise to resume dialogue with Pakistan if elected to power in Jammu and Kashmir. Addressing a rally in Nowshera ahead of the second phase of polling in Jammu and Kashmir, Shah said there will be no talks with Pakistan till terror is not eliminated from Jammu and Kashmir completely. To loud cheers from the crowd, the Union Home Minister said the centre would not let terror rise in the valley ever again. Claiming that the Congress and National Conference were trailing in the polls after the opening phase, Shah said the centre will bring out a white paper on terrorism that will expose the erstwhile ruling dynasts.
कि हमने आतंकवाद के सामने लड़ाई लड़ी है। अब्दुल्ला साहब चिंता मत करो, चुनाव हो जाने दो, आतंकवाद पर हम एक व्हाइट पेपर लेकर आने वाले हैं, एक व्हाइट पेपर जो आपके परिवार को, कांग्रेस को और मुफ्ती परिवार को पूर्णतया एक्सपोज कि आतंकवाद इस घाटी में कौन लेकर आया, किसकी सेव पर आया, केंद्र में किसकी सरकार थी, यहां किसकी सरकार थी, किसने आतंकवादियों के साथ बिरयानियां खाई है, वो सब कच्चा चिट्ठा हम खोलने वाले हैं.
Farooq Abdullah had said, if centre can have talks with China over LAC standoff, why not with Pakistan?
देखिए पाकिस्तान क्या करता है, ये क्या करते हैं. चीन से ये बात कर सकते हैं जो हमारे 2000 किलोमीटर ज़मीन पे काबिज है और आगे चल रहा है. उनसे बात कर सकते हैं 20 दफ़ा. यहाँ क्यों नहीं बात कर सकते, क्या वजह? इसी तरीके से तो इसका हल निकालना है. कब तक हम आतंकवाद में रहेंगे, कब तक हमारे लोग मरते जाएंगे.
At a separate rally in Rajouri, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said there could be no dialogue with Pakistan till it aids and abets terror in the valley.
हम भी जितनी भी हमारी पड़ोसी नेबरिंग कंट्री हैं सबके साथ हम रिलेशंस अच्छे बना के रखना चाहते हैं. पाकिस्तान के साथ भी रखना चाहते हैं, सबके साथ रखना चाहते हैं, लेकिन वो टेररिज्म को बढ़ावा देते रहें और हम उनके साथ अच्छे रिलेशंस बनाते रहें, यह कैसे होगा? दोनों काम नहीं हो सकता.
The National Conference also took out Shikara rally in Srinagar's Dal Lake with Omar leading the line. Speaking to media later, Omar claimed that the turnout was low in the opening phase, adding that the BJP wants a hung assembly in Jammu and Kashmir.
या तो इन लोगों के पास कोई ऐसा तरीका है कि वो पहले ही मशीन में जान के देख सकते हैं, हमें नहीं मालूम ना अब मशीन में क्या गया है, लेकिन जो हम लोगों से सुन रहे हैं हंग इलेक्शन की गुंजाइश नहीं है। नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस और कांग्रेस ने इसलिए मिलकर इलेक्शन लड़े। हम चाहते तो पोस्ट पोल अलायंस करते, लेकिन सिर्फ इसलिए कि हम लोगों को एक ऑप्शन दें कि आगे जाके जो है किसी तरह का हंग असेंबली ना हो, किसी तरह की मतलब शक की गुंजाइश नहीं हो कि हुकूमत जो है बनने वाली नहीं है। बीजेपी वाले चाहेंगे कि हंग असेंबली हो, वो तो चाहेंगे कि उनको एक बहाना मिले, यहाँ गवर्नर रूल को जो है और इसको लंबा खींचें।
As the poll rhetoric gets shriller and bitter ahead of the second phase of polling in Jammu and Kashmir, it is now for the people to decide if they want status quo or change in the valley.
An exchange of fire has erupted between the terrorists and security forces during a search operation in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar district. The operation, launched based on specific intelligence, has led to heavy firing from both the sides. Security forces have cordoned off the area and the situation remains tense as efforts to neutralize the militants continue. I'm joined live by my colleague Gursimran from Jammu. Gursimran, could you help us understand about the operations that are currently underway? What can you tell us about the operations right now that's underway in Kishtwar? What details do we have at this moment, Gursimran?
See, it's day third of the operation in the Dhanadar forest in the Chatru area of the Kishtwar, where the security forces have trapped a group of 3 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists, and the security forces have established the contact with the hiding terrorist for the third time. Yesterday evening, there was intense exchange of fire that has taken place. Now the operations are underway. Important to mention that the contact with the hiding terrorist was established. It was on the 21st when the contact was established at the evening hours. There was a brief exchange of fire for 5 minutes, followed by a lull for a couple of hours, and then yesterday morning at around 1, there was heavy exchange of fire for 3 hours. The forces suspect that one of the 3 terrorists is injured, and that's why the intensified operations are on. The special forces have also been heli-dropped in the operation so that the operations can be intensified and the terrorists in the area can be neutralized. This is the same group of the Pakistani terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed that was behind the killing of one army captain along with 3 other brave hearts of the Indian Army on 16th of July in the Desa area of the Doda, followed by another terror attack on 13th of September when they ambushed a patrol of the Indian Army in which one Naib Subedar along with a Jawan of the Indian Army he was killed in action, after which the security forces have intensified the operations. This is the second operation that is underway along with the Chassana in Riyasi, where the forces have trapped a group of 3 Lashkar terrorists in the Chassana area, which is adjoining to the Rajouri district of Jammu.
Thank you, Gursimran, for those details coming in from Jammu as operations are still underway in Kishtwar in Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar is seeing another set of operations. This is after a week-long operations happening almost on a repetitive basis. And with operations underway, we'll be bringing you more details through the day.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann is set to rejig the state cabinet tomorrow, introducing 5 new ministers and dropping 4 existing ones. The new inductees include Hardeep Singh Mundian, Tarunpreet S. Sond, Ravjot Barinder Goyal and Mohinder Bhagat. This reshuffle aims to bring fresh perspectives and enhance governance efficiency within the Aam Aadmi Party-led administration in Punjab. The investigation into the recent pager explosions in Lebanon has turned its focus on Rinson Jos, a Malayali with Norwegian citizenship, due to his company's financial transactions related to the purchase of the pagers. Jos's disappearance after the Hezbollah strikes has stirred discussions in Kerala, with local authorities and the media awaiting further confirmation before linking him directly to the explosions. There's Wayanad, where Jos hails from. Family members are reportedly unaware of his alleged company ownership, and his father, a tailor, has confirmed that the police collected a preliminary report from the family. A Malayali connection has emerged in the recent Lebanon pager explosion, with focus getting on Rinson Jos, a Malayali who holds Norwegian citizenship, due to his company's financial transactions related to the purchase of the pagers. Jos's disappearance after the Hezbollah strikes have stirred discussions in Kerala, with the local authorities and the media awaiting further confirmation before linking him directly to the explosions. In Wayanad, where Jos hails from, family members are reportedly unaware of his alleged company ownership, and his father, a tailor, has confirmed that the police collected a preliminary report from the family. Viewers, we are joined live by my colleague Ashwin from Trivandrum. Ashwin, could you tell us now what's happening? Because this link has emerged, but of course we don't want to directly link before there's more confirmation on that front. But as I understand, at this point, a preliminary investigation from the family has been taken by the local police. So what can you tell us more on this?
Well, the curious case of Keralite's connection with the pager explosion that took place in Lebanon on September 17th and 18th has caused much uproar. In fact, there is a lot of confusion also. A small town called Manantawadi in Wayanad, where Rinson Jos hails from, is now under a radar after it has come to light that Rinson, who was once owning a company based in Bulgaria, had in fact supplied these pagers to Hezbollah. Now, after this incident came to light, around 42 people have died. It is reported by Reuters and several other agencies. And the focus is on finding where Rinson is. Rinson, from our local sources, what we get to gather is Rinson does have a younger, has got a twin brother and a sister. All of them are settled abroad. Rinson, who has a Norwegian citizenship, had moved around 10 years ago, but the family who was surprised by this particular connection has told the sources in Republic that they're not aware that whether he owned the company as well. But there's also an interesting angle here where Rinson has completely disappeared after the entire incident has come to light. The family has said there is no news from him whatsoever, adding more curiosity to this entire episode itself. Meanwhile, the Kerala police has done a preliminary investigation and has taken some of the preliminary information from the family. The sources from the family also stated that, in fact, Rinson had visited the family back in November 2023, along with his wife and kid as well. Rinson has two siblings and a twin brother, as well as a sister. All of them are settled abroad, and they had moved around 10 years ago. A Roman Catholic family is now under the radar, and certainly the security is also beefed up around the place where Rinson's family stays. But the family is totally unaware about the situation and whether Rinson is directly involved. But certainly the Bulgaria-based company where he had earlier supplied this particular pagers to Hezbollah is under the question, and it is also understood that the Bulgarian authorities are also looking into this connection as well. Rinson, as we understand, was right now working into the media company in Norway, and they are also investigating this further. Certainly, the intelligence from in Kerala as well as that of India is on high alert after this incident has come to light. But to pin it on Rinson is we have to wait for further confirmation as well. Back to you.
Thank you, Ashwin, for those very crucial inputs coming in as a Malayali connection emerges from the recent Lebanon pager explosions.
पावर इज फॉर प्रोटेक्टिंग। भारत की प्राथमिकता दुनिया में अपना दबाव बढ़ाने की नहीं, अपना प्रभाव बढ़ाने की है।
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Republic TV, where we bring you the latest stories from around the country and the world. This time, let's move on from a story from the US, where a heart-rending shooting incident has been reported, where at least 4 people have been killed and 18 people wounded in a popular neighborhood in Alabama. Take a look at this report for more details.
At least 4 people killed and 18 others severely injured in a mass shooting that happened near Alabama's popular entertainment spot, where the suspects arrived in a vehicle and fired multiple shots at people. The suspects fled from the spot after shooting the innocents. The police arrived at the location, where they found 2 men and a woman wounded with gunshots. An additional gunshot victim was declared dead at the hospital.
We believe the individual that was targeted is among the deceased. We believe that there was a hit, if you will, on that particular person, as far as, someone was willing to pay money to have that person killed. We just have that information from some of the information we've learned in the last few hours of that investigation. I mean, that could change, but that's where we're at right now. Like I said, there wasn't anything that occurred at any of the businesses nearby. There wasn't an altercation that occurred there on the sidewalk.
The authorities believe that the gunshots were targeted. The police department also joined the investigation with FBI officials along with other law agencies to investigate the matter. The injured are critical and currently battling with life-threatening injuries.
Elected officials, locally, statewide, and nationally, have a duty to solve this American crisis, this American epidemic of gun violence. We should not allow people to just ride around with any style type of weapon that doesn't even belong on domestic streets. It should not be allowable, period. I don't care what your politics are.
The United States has been dealing with the epidemic of gun violence, with hundreds of people dead due to rampant gun violence this year.
Meanwhile, from Sri Lanka, the left-leaning leader Anura Kumara Dissanayake has been declared as the winner of the Sri Lankan presidential elections. This after the polls headed to a runoff for the first time in the country's checkered political history. The first presidential elections after a prolonged economic turmoil went into a second count after none of the candidates failed to secure 50% of the total votes polled. Dissanayake, who emerged as a dark horse ahead of Saturday's polls, could only secure 39.5% of the total votes polled, while his closest rival Sajid Premadasa also fell short with 34% votes. Incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe, along with 36 others, were ruled out of the race. Till last reports, the second round of counting was underway to decide the next occupant of the presidential palace in Colombo. Watch this report for more.
Leftist leader Anura Kumara Dissanayake was declared the winner of the Sri Lankan presidential elections, according to the local media. A second count of votes threw up the winner after the presidential elections headed to a tense runoff for the first time in the country's political history. None of the candidates failed to secure 50% of the total votes, which is essential to be declared an outright winner. Dissanayake, a leader with known left leanings, who was seen as the front-runner for the country's highest office, polled 39.5% of the total votes in the elections. His closest rival, Sajid Premadasa, also fell significantly short at 34% votes. Incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe, along with 36 others, were disqualified from the race for the country's highest office. Till last reports, the second round of counting was underway. The elections are significant as they are the first since the country fell into hard times after the economy went bust in the face of mounting debts, triggering a civilian uprising that led to the fall of the then President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The protesters stormed the presidential palace, forcing Gotabaya to flee. Consumed by protests, mounting fiscal stress, and a crippling energy crisis, Sri Lanka slipped into a desperate straits till India bailed the country out with a line of credit. As the troubled country looks to turn a corner, it remains to be seen if the second count throws up a clear winner.
वो दिन दूर नहीं जब आप मेड इन इंडिया चिप यहां अमेरिका में भी देखेंगे।
A very good morning. The Prime Minister is on final leg of his US visit. He's all set to take part in the UNGA after the successful Quad Summit, the Diaspora event and the multiple bilaterals that he held. We'll get you all the highlights of his US visit till now. Let's begin first up with the headlines.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
पावर इज फॉर प्रोटेक्टिंग। भारत की प्राथमिकता दुनिया में अपना दबाव बढ़ाने की नहीं, अपना प्रभाव बढ़ाने की है।
Prime Minister Modi sets the record straight, says India will play active role in global peace.
वो दिन दूर नहीं जब आप मेड इन इंडिया चिप यहां अमेरिका में भी देखेंगे।
Prime Minister makes a big declaration in New York, says day not far away when you will see made in India semiconductor chip being used in America.
मुझे आपको ये बताते हुए खुशी है कि आपके सुझावों के बाद भारत ने बोस्टन और लॉस एंजलिस में 2 नए कॉन्सुलेट खोलने का निर्णय लिया है।
Prime Minister makes another big announcement for the Indian diaspora in the US. Says India to get 2 new consulates in Boston and Los Angeles. Union Home Minister Amit Shah's campaign blitz in Haryana shot to hold mega rally in poll-bound state. Tirupati Laddu controversy intensifies. Former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy pens letter to Prime Minister Modi, seeks intervention in the Laddu controversy.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Now, the Prime Minister addressed a gathering of 13,000, the Indian diaspora in New York. This was a grand event that was held to honor the Prime Minister. In fact, while he addressed the Indian diaspora, the Prime Minister made several big announcements, saying that India has been working to host the Olympics in 2036. Not just that, he made another strong pitch that he wishes that US should be using India-made semiconductor chips. We'll get you the highlights of the Prime Minister's address to the Indian diaspora. But note, it's rather been a power-packed visit of the Prime Minister to the US. The visuals on your screens are of the multiple bilaterals that he held in New York, from the Palestinian president to one with the Crown Prince of Kuwait, to another one that he held with the Nepal Prime Minister KP Oli, and this on the sidelines of the UNGA. So from the successful Quad Summit to the bilaterals that he held with the Quad counterparts, to the ones that he had with the Kuwait Crown Prince, Palestinian President, and the one with KP Oli, it's been a successful visit of Prime Minister so far. He's all set to attend the UNGA session next.
आप 7 समंदर पार भले आए गए हैं, लेकिन कोई समंदर इतना गहरा नहीं जो दिल की गहराइयों में बसे हिंदुस्तान को आपसे दूर कर सके। मां भारती ने जो हमें सिखाया है वो हम कभी भी भूल नहीं सकते। हम जहां भी जाते हैं सबको परिवार मानकर उनसे घुल मिल जाते हैं। डायवर्सिटी को समझना, डायवर्सिटी को जीना, उसे अपने जीवन में उतारना, ये हमारे संस्कारों में है, हमारी रगों में है। हम उस देश के वासी हैं जहां सैकड़ों भाषाएं हैं, सैकड़ों बोलियां हैं, दुनिया के सारे मत है, पंथ है, फिर भी हम एक बनकर, नेक बनकर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। यहां इस हॉल में ही देखिए, कोई तमिल बोलता है, कोई तेलुगु, कोई मलयालम, तो कोई कन्नड़ा, कोई पंजाबी, तो कोई मराठी और तो कोई गुजराती। भाषा अनेक है लेकिन भाव एक है, और वो भाव है भारत माता की, वो भाव है भारतीयता। दुनिया के साथ जुड़ने के लिए ये हमारी सबसे बड़ी स्ट्रेंथ है, सबसे बड़ी ताकत है। यही वैल्यूज हमें सहज रूप से ही विश्व बंधु बनाती है।
In fact, let's also tell you about the successful Quad summit that was held in Delaware. From that stern message that the Quad leaders sent to North Korea and China about the aggression of China in the South China Sea, the Indo-Pacific region, to the ballistic missile launches by North Korea, and even the joint Coast Guard patrolling that is all set to take place beginning next year. Take a look at the highlights from the Quad summit, the declaration the declaration by the Quad leaders. Take a look at this report.
The Quad Leaders Summit successfully concluded with member nations reinforcing their commitment to all-inclusive Indo-Pacific. PM's peace message at the summit was hailed and reiterated by United States, Australia and Japan.
हमारी बैठक ऐसे समय हो रही है जब विश्व तनावों और संघर्षों से घिरा हुआ है। ऐसे में साझा डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यूज के आधार पर क्वाड का मिलकर साथ चलना पूरी मानवता के लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। हम किसी के खिलाफ नहीं हैं। हम सभी एक रूल्स बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर, संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता के सम्मान और सभी मसलों के शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से हल निकालने के समर्थन करते हैं।
PM Modi later held bilateral talks with President Biden and Australian and Japanese Prime Ministers. Biden received PM Modi at his private residence in Delaware, where both leaders held talks. Joe Biden hailed PM Modi's Ukraine trip and lauded India's role to establish global peace. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida appreciated PM Modi and extended his support to India's initiative for organizing Voice of Global South summits. Australian PM, on the other hand, said India is the predominant power in the Indian Ocean under PM Modi's leadership. The Quad nations also launched Cancer Moonshot Initiative to reduce the burden of cancer in the Indo-Pacific region. India pledged rupees 62 crore to combat cervical cancer in Indo-Pacific region.
मुझे खुशी है कि क्वाड में हमने सर्वाइकल कैंसर जैसे चैलेंज का मिलकर सामना करने का निर्णय लिया है. इन कैंसर केयर कोलैबोरेशन इज एसेंशियल फॉर क्योर. कैंसर का बर्डन कम करने के लिए प्रिवेंशन, स्क्रीनिंग, डायग्नोसिस और ट्रीटमेंट की इंटीग्रेटेड अप्रोच जरूरी है.
Ever since PM Narendra Modi took oath as the Prime Minister of India, India's role is growing globally, with India setting tone for several international summits every year.
So, the Prime Minister, having addressed the Indian diaspora gathering of 13,000 Indian people in New York who'd come from different states, next the Prime Minister is all set to attend the UNGA. In fact, note that the Prime Minister has even held several bilateral meets on the sidelines of the UNGA session that will be aired tonight, local Indian time.
आप सब मेरे लिए हमेशा से भारत के सबसे मजबूत ब्रांड एम्बेसडर रहे हैं और इसलिए मैं आप सबको राष्ट्रदूत कहता हूं. अमेरिका को भारत से और भारत को अमेरिका से कनेक्ट किया है. कोई समंदर इतना गहरा नहीं जो दिल की गहराइयों में बसे हिंदुस्तान को आपसे दूर कर सके. साथियों, तीसरी बार हमारी सरकार की वापसी हुई है. और ऐसा पिछले 60 सालों में भारत में नहीं हुआ था. करोड़ों भारतीयों ने स्वराज के लिए जीवन खपा दिया था. उन्होंने अपना हित नहीं देखा. पहले दिन से मेरा मन और मेरा मिशन एकदम क्लियर रहा है. मैं स्वराज के लिए जीवन नहीं दे पाया, लेकिन मैंने तय किया सुराज और समृद्ध भारत के लिए जीवन समर्पित करूंगा. आज करोड़ों भारतीयों की एस्पिरेशन भारत की ग्रोथ को ड्राइव कर रही है. हर एस्पिरेशन नए अचीवमेंट को जन्म देती है और हर अचीवमेंट नए एस्पिरेशन के लिए खाद पानी बन रही है. भारत घरों से लेकर सड़कों तक एनर्जी एफिशिएंट लाइटिंग के रास्ते पर चल पड़ा है. इन सारे प्रयासों से भारत में बहुत बड़ी संख्या में ग्रीन जॉब्स पैदा हो रहे हैं. हम ग्लोबल साउथ की भी बुलंद आवाज बन रहे हैं. दुनिया में कहीं भी संकट आए, भारत फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर के रूप में सामने आता है. कोरोना के समय में हमने 150 से ज्यादा देशों को वैक्सीन और दवाइयां भेजी. हम विश्व पर अपना दबदबा नहीं चाहते, हम विश्व की समृद्धि में अपना सहयोग बढ़ाना चाहते हैं.
Now, let's also tell you that former President Donald Trump, the Republican presidential nominee, has even expressed strong intent to meet Prime Minister Modi during his visit to the US. Take a look at this report that has highlights of the Howdy Modi event and Namaste Trump event, which were held during Trump's tenure as a US president.
On the sidelines of the Quad Summit in Delaware, former United States President Donald Trump is seeking a friendly meeting with ally Prime Minister Modi. He claimed India to be an abuser of the Indo-US partnership, but Prime Minister Modi a friend.
So we're going to call it the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act, or I'll leave the name Trump off as long as we do it. So when India, which is a very big abuser, he happens to be coming to meet me next week, and Modi, he's fantastic. I mean, fantastic man. A lot of these leaders are fantastic. You have to understand one thing. They're 100%. These people are the sharpest people.
A big boost to the Modi-Trump bonhomie. Prime Minister Modi has earlier described his interactions with Trump as the quote-unquote perfect meeting of minds.
In India, have connected well with President Trump. The words of candidate Trump, अब की बार ट्रम्प सरकार, rang loud and clear.
While Trump considers India the all-time friend.
I get along very well with the Prime Minister Modi. He's a friend of mine. I committed to this trip a long time ago, and I look forward to going. We're taking, as you know, the First Lady's coming. Some of you are coming. I hear it's going to be a big event. Some people say the biggest event they've ever had in India. That's what the Prime Minister told me. This will be the biggest event they've ever had. So it's going to be very exciting.
With successful diplomatic exchanges in the past,
I happen to like Prime Minister Modi a lot, and he told me we'll have 7 million people between the airport and the event. And the stadium, I understand, is sort of semi under construction, but it's going to be the largest stadium in the world. So it's going to be very exciting.
the Modi-Trump rapport is more than a shared commitment to boosting bilateral ties. A key chapter in India's foreign affairs book is the Modi-Trump meeting, on the cards this time.
In fact, note that this was is Prime Minister's first visit to the US during his tenure, third tenure as a Prime Minister of India. In this diaspora event that he addressed, the Prime Minister spoke about free and fair elections in India. Take a look at highlights from his speech at the diaspora event in New York.
3 महीने का पोलिंग प्रोसेस, 15 मिलियन यानी 1.5 करोड़ लोगों का पोलिंग स्टाफ, 1 मिलियन यानी 10 लाख से ज्यादा पोलिंग स्टेशन, 2,500 से ज्यादा पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, 8,000 से ज्यादा कैंडिडेट्स, अलग अलग भाषाओं के हजारों न्यूज़पेपर्स, सैकड़ों रेडियो स्टेशन, सैकड़ों टीवी न्यूज चैनल, करोड़ों सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट्स, लाखों सोशल मीडिया चैनल्स, ये सब भारत की डेमोक्रेसी को वाइब्रेंट बनाते हैं। ये फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन के विस्तार का दौर है। इस लेवल की स्क्रूटनी से होकर हमारे देश की चुनावी प्रक्रिया गुजरती है। और साथियों, इस लंबी चुनावी प्रक्रिया से गुजरकर इस बार भारत में कुछ अभूतपूर्व हुआ है। क्या हुआ है? क्या हुआ है? क्या हुआ है? क्या हुआ है? अब की बार, अब की बार, अब की बार साथियों, तीसरी बार हमारी सरकार की वापसी हुई है। और ऐसा पिछले 60 सालों में भारत में नहीं हुआ था। भारत की जनता ने ये जो नया मैंडेट दिया है, उसके मायने बहुत है और बहुत बड़े भी हैं। ये तीसरे टर्म में हमें बहुत बड़े लक्ष्य साधने हैं। हमें 3 गुना ताकत और 3 गुना गति के साथ आगे बढ़ना है। आपको एक शब्द याद रहेगा, पुष्प। हाँ, कमल मान लीजिए, मुझे इतराज नहीं है। पुष्प, और मैं पुष्प को डिफाइन करता हूं, P फॉर प्रोग्रेसिव भारत, U फॉर अनस्टॉपेबल भारत, S फॉर स्पिरिचुअल भारत, H फॉर ह्यूमैनिटी फर्स्ट को समर्पित भारत, P फॉर प्रोस्परस भारत, यानी पुष्प। पुष्प की 5 पंखुड़ियों को मिलाकर ही विकसित भारत बनाएंगे। साथियों, मैं भारत का पहला प्रधानमंत्री हूं जिसका जन्म आजादी के बाद हुआ। आजादी के आंदोलन में करोड़ों भारतीयों ने स्वराज के लिए जीवन खपा दिया था। उन्होंने अपना हित नहीं देखा, अपने कंफर्ट जोन की चिंता नहीं की। वो तो बस देश की आजादी के लिए सब कुछ भूलकर अंग्रेजों से लड़ने चल पड़े थे। उस सफर में किसी को फांसी का फंदा मिला, किसी के शरीर को गोलियों से भून दिया गया, कोई यातनाएं सहते हुए जेल में ही गुजर गया, कईयों की जवानी जिंदगी जेल में खप गई। साथियों, हम देश के लिए मर नहीं पाए, लेकिन हम देश के लिए जरूर जी सकते हैं। प्राथमिकता दुनिया में अपना दबाव बढ़ाने की नहीं, अपना प्रभाव बढ़ाने की है।
Prime Minister Modi sets the record straight, says India will play active role in global peace, reiterates the Vishwa Bandhu pledge, says India's goal is not global domination but global influence and friendship.
वो दिन दूर नहीं जब आप मेड इन इंडिया चीफ यहां अमेरिका में भी देखेंगे।
Prime Minister Modi makes a declaration in New York, says day not far when you will see made in India semiconductor chip in America. This after the announcement of India and US setting up a new semiconductor fab plant in Kolkata.
मुझे आपको ये बताते हुए खुशी है कि आपके सुझावों के बाद भारत ने बोस्टन और लॉस एंजलिस में 2 नए कॉन्सुलेट खोलने का निर्णय लिया है।
Prime Minister makes a big announcement for the Indian diaspora in the US. India to get 2 new consulates in Boston and Los Angeles. Union Home Minister Amit Shah's campaign blitz in Haryana, Shah to hold mega rally in the poll-bound state. Tirupati Laddu Rao intensifies. Former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Reddy pens letter to Prime Minister Modi seeking intervention in the Laddu controversy. In the ongoing Tirupati Laddu controversy, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has formed a special investigation team to probe the matter. Meanwhile, former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy has written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi alleging attempts to tarnish the Tirumala temple's sanctity. A public interest litigation or a PIL on the issue has also been filed in the Supreme Court. With the Tirupati Laddu Rao escalating, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has formed a special investigation team to probe the matter. Meanwhile, former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy has written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi alleging attempts to tarnish the Tirumala temple's sanctity. A public interest litigation, the PIL, on the issue has also been filed in the Supreme Court. I'm sorry.
The controversy over the alleged adulteration of Tirumala Prasadam has exploded amid a simmering row. Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan began an elaborate atonement ritual. The actor turned politician began the Prayashchitta Diksha, an 11-day ritual for penance and purification at the Sri Dasavatara Venkateshwara Swami Temple in Guntur. Taking to social media platform X, Pawan stated that he was deeply hurt by malicious attempts to infuse impurity to the laddus, which is offered as prasadam to countless devotees visiting Tirumala. The Deputy CM said he took a vow to fast for 11 days and will also follow other rituals to seek forgiveness for what allegedly happened under the previous government. In the firing line of the ruling TDP and BJP, leader of opposition Jagan Mohan Reddy wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi calling Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu a pathological liar and seeking his intervention into the matter. Meanwhile, Chandrababu Naidu has assured strict action.
I'm doing 3 angles. One is, first of all, purification, Prokshanam, that they will conduct according to traditions Agama Sampradayam. Second, I am ordering an inquiry, IGP level or more than that. Then the team will establish the facts. Finally, all temples, all prayer places, respect to religious people only will work, so that there won't be any violations. That also we are going to bring.
Amid the row, the BJP workers staged a protest outside the residence of former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy and were arrested by police on Sunday. Meanwhile, top seers and spiritual leaders also condemned the alleged adulteration of the Tirumala Prasadam as a conspiracy against Hindus. Pandit Dhirendra Shastri, the Peethadishwar of the Bageshwar Dham, called on the Andhra government to make strict laws against such attempts to offend religious sentiments and belief. He also demanded that the government pushes for death penalty for the accused in the adulteration row.
तिरुपति बालाजी के प्रसाद में चरवी के घी का लड्डुओं का प्रसाद वितरण किया गया था या प्रसाद लगाया गया। अगर ये जानकारी सत्य है तो ये बहुत बड़ा अपराध है। निश्चित रूप से भारत के सनातनियों के खिलाफ ये सुनियोजित तरीके से किया गया षड्यंत्र है और इस प्रकार का कृत्य करके भारत के सनातनियों को धर्मभ्रष्ट करने का पूर्ण रूप से तैयारी की गई है। हम तो चाहेंगे कि वहां की सरकार सख्त से सख्त कानून बनाकर उन दोषियों को फांसी की सजा देवे।
Expelled Congress leader Acharya Pramod Krishnam also weighed in, claiming that a larger conspiracy was afoot to destroy Sanatana Dharma and some political parties are hand in glove in it.
आज सनातन को खत्म करने की साजिशें हो रही हैं, सनातन को भ्रष्ट करने की साजिशें हो रही हैं और इन साजिशों में पूरी दुनिया की बड़ी-बड़ी ताकतें शामिल हैं। और दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि सनातन को मिटाने की जो साजिश हो रही है उसमें भारत के कुछ राजनीतिक दल भी सम्मिलित हैं। तिरुपति मंदिर का जो पूरा प्रकरण है वो सनातन को भ्रष्ट करने की एक साजिश है।
Revered spiritual gurus Shri Shri Ravi Shankar and Sadhguru also spoke up amid the controversy, asking for devotees and not governments to run the temples. As the row over the prasadam refuses to die down, the big question is, who is responsible for this blatant mockery of people's devotion?
Big breaking news coming in on the heels of the Tirupati Laddu controversy. A nationwide alarm has been triggered over the Tirupati Laddu controversy, while scrutiny now extending to temple offerings across India. The issue has prompted the Uttar Pradesh Food Safety and Drug Administration to collect samples of prasad from the various temples, including from Mathura, for quality checks. Viewers, we are joined live by my colleague Ajay Dubey from Lucknow. Ajay, could you help us understand which are the temples that are going to be part of this exercise of collecting the samples for the quality checks at the moment? Any clarity on that front? Which are the temples where the samples of the prasad is likely to be collected by the Food Security Department?
See, the local administrations of various cities, various holy places, including Varanasi, including Mathura, including Prayagraj, all these local administrations are looking for the quality check of the sweets, of the things which are being given close to the temple premises. First of all, this is not as in Tirupati, all these sweets and other kind of prasadam, they are given by the administration of temple. But in Varanasi or in Mathura, it is not given by the temple administration, but by the private vendors. They have shops closer to temples. Many shops, it is not controlled by one individual person, but by various sellers. So this is what the administration is doing. It is checking all the owner shops, all the products, all kind of sweets on those shops, all kind of prasadam on those shops. So it happened earlier in Varanasi 2 days back, and now it is happening in Mathura and in Prayagraj also. So in various holy places in Uttar Pradesh, food and food department, not just food but other local administrations also, they are also participating and checking for the quality check. As I was discussing this issue in Uttar Pradesh between all pujaris and local people, they were saying if it is happening in Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister would have taken very strict action on this. So it did not happen in Uttar Pradesh, but still, for the sake of quality, for the sake of things, how in temples things are coming, they are doing this administration check, and here we have seen this thing done in Varanasi earlier, now in Mathura, and next in Prayagraj also we'll be watching this.
Thank you, Ajay, for bringing us the details. As Tirupati Laddu controversy emerges, it is also extending to the Uttar Pradesh, where the temples are likely to send in the samples to get quality checks. Now, moving on, in an incident bearing chilling echoes of the brutal murder of Mumbai woman Shraddha Walkar, a woman living on rent in Bengaluru was killed and her body chopped up into several parts and stored in a refrigerator. The police suspect that the horrendous crime was committed 10 to 15 days ago, and according to local sources, the woman moved into the rented accommodation barely a few months back. Now, take a look at this detailed report for more.
Bringing back the memories of the macabre murder of Shraddha Walkar, a 26-year-old woman who was brutally killed and chopped to pieces in Bengaluru. According to sources, the killer stored the chopped up body parts in a refrigerator before fleeing the scene. Sharing shocking details of the crime, the police said that the victim's body was chopped into 30 parts. The police said that the woman was killed at a rented accommodation in the Vyalikaval police station area.
ವೈಲಿಕಾವಲ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 1 BHK ಮನೆ ಇದೆ. ಮನೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು 26 ವಯಸ್ಸಿರುವ ಒಂದು ಲೇಡಿದು ಡೆಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಕಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಪೀಸಸ್ ಫ್ರಿಜ್ಜಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಪ್ರಥಮವಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಇದು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಇವತ್ತು ಆದದಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು 4-5 ದಿವಸ ಹಿಂದೆನೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಸೋಕೋ ಟೀಮ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಡಾಗ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವಾಡು ಫಿಂಗರ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತರಿಸಿದ್ವಿ. FSL ಟೀಮ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತ್ತು ಉಳಿದ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಸರ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಯಿತಾ? ಯುವತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಯಾವ ಊರವರು, ಎಲ್ಲಿಯವರು?
ತೀರ್ಕೊಂಡವರು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈಗ ತನಿಖೆ ಆಗಲಿ, ತನಿಖೆ ಆದ ಮೇಲೆ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಫುಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್.
The police said they believe that the crime was committed 10 to 15 days ago, adding that the rented house belongs to a person named Jayaram. The family of the victim has spoken up. Victim's brother has alleged that a manager's hand might be behind the gruesome crime.
ಅದು ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಲೇಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈಗ ಅವರು ಟೀಮ್ ಲೀಡರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು, TL ಆಗಿದ್ದರು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲೇ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಅಂಡರ್ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಹುಡುಗರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಈಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗ ಅವ್ರ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಸು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಸು ಅವ್ರ ನಂಬರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ನಾನು.
As another barbaric murder comes to light, the focus now shifts to nailing the killer and bringing him to justice.
An exchange of fire erupted between the terrorists and the security forces during a search operation in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar district. The operation, launched based on specific intelligence, has led to heavy firing from both the sides. Security forces have cordoned off the area and the situation remains tense as efforts to neutralize the militants continue. An exchange of fire has erupted between the terrorists and security forces during a search operation in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar district. The operation, launched based on specific intelligence, has led to heavy firing from both the sides. And now we have my colleague Gursimran joining us live from Jammu. Gursimran, could you help us understand what this operation is all about and what stage of development is it at this point? And what were the inputs where, the security forces are able to sort of neutralize these terrorists?
See, now we can say that the operation is in advanced stage and the security forces are heading towards the location of the suspected terrorist. That is what the senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police as well as the Rashtriya Rifles of the Indian Army have confirmed to us that the operation is being taken to a next level, and they are hopeful that the terrorists will be neutralized very soon. This is a group of 2 to 3 terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed that were active in the area. For long, they have been those terrorists who carried out the attack on the Indian Army's patrol on 16th of July July in the Desa area of Doda, in which 4 brave hearts including Captain Brijesh Thapa were killed in action, and then another attack took place a day ahead of Prime Minister's visit to Doda. In the Kishtwar Chhatru, we saw another patrol of the Indian Army was ambushed by these terrorists, in which one Naib Subedar and a Jawan was also killed in action. So these are behind the killing of 6 brave hearts of the Indian Army, and now the security forces are advancing to their locations. We are told that they are shifting their locations, but the forces have pinpointed their locations, and the para commandos of the Indian Army have too been dropped via chopper so that they can intensify the operation. And in the next couple of hours, what we are picking up from the source in the ground, that we can expect a major development in this ongoing operation.
Thank you, Gursimran, for this very crucial inputs.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann is set to reject the state cabinet tomorrow, introducing 5 new ministers and dropping 4 existing ones. The new inductees include Hardeep Singh Mundian, Tarun Preet Singh Sond, Ravjot, Barinder Goyal and Mohinder Bhagat. This reshuffle aims to bring fresh perspectives and enhance governance efficiency within the Aam Aadmi Party-led administration. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann is all set to reject the state cabinet tomorrow, introducing 5 new ministers and dropping 4 existing ones. The new inductees will include Hardeep Singh Mundian, Tarun Preet Sond, Ravjot, Barinder Goyal and Mohinder Bhagat. This reshuffle now aims to bring fresh perspectives and enhance governance efficiency within the Aam Aadmi Party-led administration in Punjab.
भारत की प्राथमिकता दुनिया में अपना दबाव बढ़ाने की नहीं, अपना प्रभाव बढ़ाने की है।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Republic TV, where we bring you the latest stories. Now, moving on to the Lebanon explosions which recently took place, the investigation has emerged with a Malayali connection. Now, the emerging connection is with the Lebanon has turned focus on Rinsin Jos, a Malayali with Norwegian citizenship, due to his company's financial transactions related to the purchase of the pages. Jos's disappearance after the Hezbollah strikes has stirred discussions in Kerala, with local authorities and the media awaiting further confirmation before linking him directly to the explosions. In Wayanad, where Jos hails from, family members are reportedly unaware of his alleged company ownership, and his father, who is a tailor, has confirmed that police collected a preliminary report from the family.
The encounter between the terrorists and the security forces in the Dhanadar forest area of the Chatru subdivision of the Kishtwar district is underway. On the third day, the security forces have trapped a group of 3 terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed that was behind 2 terror attacks in the Doda and the Kishtwar district. For more, stay tuned to Republic TV right after this short break.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Live This Morning on Republic TV, where we bring you the latest. Now, in a significant measure from the US, India and the US have signed an agreement to set up a semiconductor fabrication plant in Kolkata. With this, India is all set to provide made in India chips to the US armed forces and allied militaries. Moreover, the US Space Force will help in setting up this plant.
On his recent US tour to attend the Quad Summit, Prime Minister Modi met the US President as well as other Quad leaders. Amid several discussions on regional as well as global issues, PM Modi and US President Joe Biden inked a major deal. They signed an agreement for a new semiconductor fabrication plant. The US Space Force will help in setting the new plant in India. This plant will provide chips for the US Armed Forces, allied militaries as well as Indian Defence Forces.
सेमीकंडक्टर सेक्टर को भी भारत की तेज ग्रोथ का आधार बनाया है। वो दिन दूर नहीं जब आप मेड इन इंडिया चिप यहां अमेरिका में भी देखेंगे। ये छोटी सी चिप विकसित भारत की उड़ान को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जाएगी।
This state-of-the-art facility will focus on advanced sensing, communication and power electronics. It will be a significant step for national security and the future of technology. This first ever national security fab will be a collaboration between Indian companies, Bharat Semi, 3D Tech and the US Space Force. It will represent the first ever India-US semiconductor fab cooperation of its kind. The US military will engage in a technology partnership for these highly valued semiconductors. This is going to be one of the world's pioneering multi-material fabs dedicated to national security. The Bharat Semi Fab, which is named Shakti, will stand as one of the first of its kind in the Quad Alliance. Shakti will solidify India's role in global semiconductor manufacturing. This historic partnership will pave the way for enhanced technological collaboration and security between the two countries.
मुझे आपको ये बताते हुए खुशी है कि आपके सुझावों के बाद भारत ने बोस्टन